So what are we doing here? Again, equal pay day. Every year we stand up here and we tell you about the fact that women in Vermont are not making as much money as men in Vermont are making. This is true everywhere, and Vermont is no exception. In Vermont, women are making about 84% of what men are making in a year. And this is a symbolic day that's chosen every year to represent the fact that women have to work farther into the following year to make as much money as men made the year before. And there's some pretty big implications to this wage gap, and I just want to throw some numbers at you, and I want you all to take notes. It's going to be a quiz. If women were making the same amount of money as men were, so if women's wages were raised up to where men are, that would be about $5,565 extra dollars for every woman in Vermont every year. That would be about $1 billion total into Vermont's economy, which is around 3.3% of the state's GDP. So it is not insignificant. This is what we're missing out on because of the wage gap. And I'm very happy that we've got a lot of partners to work on trying to change this problem. And many of them are here today, but one is one I mentioned earlier, Change the Story Vermont. This is the initiative that is devoted to fast-tracking women's economic security in Vermont, fueled by the Vermont Commission on Women, the Vermont Women's Fund, and Vermont Works for Women. And we have been working very hard for the past year on, among other things, creating a series of reports about women's economic status in Vermont. And I'm very excited that we're here today to announce the release of the latest one, the fourth report. I'm going to hold it up. You can all get a copy of it. It's called Vermont Women and Leadership. And we have chosen to look at Vermont women in leadership for a lot of reasons that are related to economic security. One is a very obvious one. If you're in a higher level position, you're more likely to earn more money, have a job with better benefits, and more flexibility. So it's a benefit to the individual women who are advancing in leadership. But it's also good for all the rest of us. It's good for the bottom line of business. Corporations that are more diverse make more money. It's better for decision-making processes. It's better for innovation. And it helps ensure that our policies reflect the perspectives and the needs of everybody. So in this report, we looked at a whole range of areas of leadership. We looked at public service, we looked at the private sector, we looked at corporations, we looked at higher education, and we see kind of a mixed bag. So it's sort of on the one hand, on the other hand kind of a story. And in some ways, we really stand out. One of the ways that we stand out, we have to give kudos to Governor Scott, who's actually set a record for the number of women that he's appointed to his cabinet and also into top levels of administration. And, but we also see progress kind of slow or maybe not moving at all in some other areas. And one of the telling things is an organization called Representation 2020, which is a national advocacy organization focused on women's political parity. In 1993, they ranked us 7th in Vermont. Vermont 7th in the country. But in 2017, we have fallen to 33rd. And if you read this report, you'll find out a little bit more detail about why that is. And we also have a number of speakers here who are going to share with you some of their experiences of women in leadership and also tell you a little bit more about these numbers. So I am going to introduce them each one by one and have them come up and say a few words, and then we'll move on to the next one. Our first speaker is Speaker of the House, Mitzi Johnson.